Live from WTKR News 3, your News at 5 starts right now.
This storm is strong and it's relentless. We must be ready.
It's a race against the clock as Hurricane Dorian makes its way up the East Coast. Right now, people from Florida all the way to the northern tip of North Carolina are within its reach.
And now is the time to prepare. We can't say that often enough. We have team coverage of what you need to know right now to make sure you're ready for whatever this storm brings. And we just got the 5 o'clock update from the National Hurricane Center.
Chief Meteorologist Patrick Rocky is here with the latest.
And the change here is that the storm is actually intensifying, almost a Category 3 storm. So Dorian is a storm that just won't go away. So let's head over to the forecast center here. Let me show you the numbers with the 5 o'clock update. A Category 2 storm, but almost Category 3 strength. 110 mile per hour sustained winds, gusts up to 130, moving off to the north-northwest right now at around 8 miles per hour. So as we zoom in here a little bit closer, we've been noticing on the satellite image that it looked like it was getting better organized, and then we're seeing that with the numbers from the Hurricane Center with those 110 mile per hour winds. The storm is expected to get very close to the South Carolina coast as a Category 2 hurricane. Areas around Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and then could even make landfall close to Wilmington and Morehead City. And then if it stays on this path, would move directly over the southern Outer Banks as a Category 2 hurricane. But it is going to be a big storm, so we are going to feel a big impact in Hampton Roads as well. And then we'll start to pick up some forward speed once it moves past the Outer Banks, and we hope it gets out of here pretty quickly. But here's the bottom line with the storm. It is intensifying, actually slowing down, or at least the forecast is for it to move a little, get here a little bit later than we were thinking. And so the bulk of this is going to be during the day on Friday. The strongest winds will be over a large area. It is going to get bigger as it moves in our direction. The center is expected to move over the southern Outer Banks, and I want you to remember this. Our biggest threats are going to be from major flooding. We got updates on that flood threat, and we're now in the major flood category across Hampton Roads, and from heavy rainfall. And the two of those are going to combine to make it a real mess on Friday. So we're going to talk a whole lot more about who can expect that flood threat and just how much rain we're expecting. Plus, we're going to have some pretty gusty winds and the potential for power outages. We're going to tackle all that coming up in just a couple minutes.
We have several school closings we need to tell you about. Portsmouth schools are closed both tomorrow and Friday of this week ahead of Hurricane Dorian. Portsmouth City offices will be closed on Friday.
And schools in Northampton County, Virginia will close tomorrow at 2. All schools will be closed on Friday, and they will reopen again on Monday. And in Suffolk, folks, tomorrow middle schools will dismiss at 11:25. High schools will be let out at 12:25, and elementary schools at 1:15 in the afternoon. In addition, all after-school activities will be canceled. A decision concerning school opening on Friday will be made tomorrow afternoon.
Our team coverage continues now on the Outer Banks.
News 3 reporter Brendan Ponton joins us live from Outer Banks. Okay, give us an idea of what it's like there right now.
Well, right here in Nags Head, it is deserted along the beach because a lot of people have been evacuating. And just moments ago here, police gave us this notice, which they're calling kind of a PSA of what to expect during the storm. And it says that police and first responders may not be able to respond during the height of the storm. Now, on our way down here, we saw plenty of drivers headed north out of the Outer Banks. We also passed by several homes and businesses that had been boarded up. Other people were stocking up on gas and some last-minute supplies. Now, we know that some people are headed out. Others say that they're staying, but we caught up with some people who are still trying to make up their minds.
I'm just so used to staying, not so used to taking off and running. Yeah, that is a little scary,
And back out here live, you're taking a look here at the beach right by Jeanette's Pier, and there are no swimming signs up, but some people are in the water right now surfing as the surf is picking up a little bit here. We've noticed in the last hour or so the winds are getting a little bit stronger, and it is definitely very cloudy. So the story right now is that a lot of people have left here along the Outer Banks, and that other people who have stayed are waiting to see what the direct impacts will be from the storm. We're live in the Outer Banks. I'm Brendan Ponton, News 3.
Digging in for Dorian, residents living in Hampton Roads took advantage because there's some free offers out there today. Sandbags. Sandbags will do the trick to divert any water around their home, and courtesy of Dorian.
News 3 reporter Chelsea Donovan is live where dozens of residents spent the day. Chelsea.
Yeah, still a very steady flow out here. You can see even the kids are helping out, digging in, getting this free sand. 400 tons is what the City of Virginia Beach Public Works Department is providing here. Sorry about that. Bagging it up and, of course, barreling it out. That's what we've seen all day. We spoke to a lot of residents from Virginia Beach to Norfolk, many who live in low-lying, flood-prone areas. They say they came out today hoping for the best, but ready for the worst. The majority say water came into their homes during Matthew and Florence, so they want to make extra sure they're prepared for these punishing rains and water that could creep right into their homes.
I live in front of some wetlands, and what happens is they flood pretty well. Well, my driveway's drains into those wetlands. So what happens is when they flood, then it backs up into the drain, floods into the driveway, eventually into the against the garage door.
If you're coming out here tonight, bring your mussels, bring your shovels, and bring the bags. They are not provided by the City of Virginia Beach. If you can't come out tonight, that's okay. This is going to be here tomorrow, and they have plenty of sand. Like I mentioned, 400 tons ready to replenish that. It'll be here, like I said, well into tomorrow. We're live in Virginia Beach. Chelsea Donovan, News 3.
Virginia Natural Gas has a few important reminders ahead of the storm. The number one tip they want everyone to remember is do not turn off your gas supply at the main meter. Only Virginia Natural Gas employees or emergency personnel should turn off those valves. Make sure your meter is clearly visible. Crews could come by to check levels following the storm. If a meter or gas line is exposed, leave the area and call 911 or the Virginia Natural Gas Emergency Response Line. That number on your screen, 1-877-572-3342.
And new at 5, a Pennsylvania couple. Hey, they refused to let Hurricane Dorian leave a dark cloud on their Outer Banks wedding plans.
The couple spent more than a year planning a beautiful beach wedding, only for Dorian to shake things up. Reporter Brian Hill joins us now with more on how the couple was able to still tie the knot as hundreds of others were evacuating.
Well, Les and Barbara, the newlyweds tell me the evacuation made things stressful because they thought the wedding might not happen, but their event planner came through with just a few hours to spare.
The ocean's beautiful. I mean, everything was perfect.
A perfect wedding celebration Tuesday morning, but buried deep behind these blue skies in the Outer Banks, a storm was brewing.
It was stressing me out. So we felt like we couldn't even enjoy our vacation.
Newlyweds Lindsay and Alan Sanders were stressed because it was beginning to look like the wedding they had been planning for more than a year was going to be a washout. On Monday, with Hurricane Dorian in our midst, Dare County officials ordered a mandatory evacuation for all visitors Tuesday at noon. Unfortunately, the Pennsylvania couple was set to tie the knot on Friday.
And when they gave us the option for Wednesday, now at that point, you know, there is no option. We're not getting married. So it was pretty scary.
But thanks to some last minute changes, the couple's event planning company, Nordstrom Events, helped them get hitched just 1 hour before the evacuation began.
I'm happy with how things turned out. So, and I'm glad we were still able to get married on the beach because that's what we went there for.
And although not the most ideal vacation, given their trip was cut 5 days short and some family members missed seeing the couple become husband and wife, they say they are grateful. The newlyweds are now back home, hundreds of miles away from Dorian, enjoying their newfound marital bliss.
We haven't really had a chance to, I guess, take it all in, but I mean, it feels good.
The couple says they are now planning a honeymoon, which will happen early next year. They say they're also looking at getting a dog who they'll name either Dory or Dorian, a reminder of a very eventful wedding. Brian Hill, News 3.
Coming up on News 3, a new poll shows many folks are not fully prepared for emergency situations. What you can do right now to prepare and what you need to know to stay safe ahead of Hurricane Dorian.
A live look right now showing dangerous waters in Florida as Hurricane Dorian moves up the coast. The surf in Jacksonville looks rough as the storm brings wind and some rain to that area. Coming up, we'll take a look at when we could see an impact here.
The big weather headline this afternoon from Dorian, we can expect some major flooding across our area. I'll let you know who can expect the worst coming up in your first warning forecast.